The C de Cartier, aka Big C or Picadilly rimless frames, are truly some of the most iconic ever created. So in today's video, I'm going to be explaining the differences between the old version and the new, giving you some little tips and advice on small details to consider when you're purchasing your own pair, and finally explaining how to customize them with the right shape and the right tint. So hi, I'm Robert, Style and Vision Consultant here at the Spectacle Factory, and it's my job to pair you with your perfect pair of glasses. And for a lot of collectors out there, these are the perfect glasses. These are the dream frames, especially if you covet Cartier as a brand. Nothing quite says Cartier like that big C on the temple. However, so many people make the fundamental mistake of ordering them as stock. And I'm here to tell you that that is a huge mistake. In fact, if you do that, I really feel like you're wasting your money. Not that the frames aren't worth it on their own, but to really make the most out of eyewear like this, they do need to be made bespoke to you. First of all, let's talk about the Big C frames and explain some of the differences between the older version and the new. So what we saw with the older version is a more obvious letter C at each temple. And that obviously represents the name Cartier. These are always available in either gold-plated or platinum-plated versions. So you see here the platinum, which has a more silver coloration, and the gold, which has a slightly warmer hue to it. What we did see on the past generation are slightly smaller screws that fix the frame to the lens. Those are slightly larger, and the joints are just that little bit more pronounced on the newer version. Speaking of the newer version, we see here that the C is kind of a lot more angular, and therefore almost reminiscent of a love heart, in my opinion, whereas this is very obviously the letter C. I don't think someone looking at this would instantly think that is a C. Obviously, someone who knows Cartier is going to know what that is immediately. That is cool in its own way. But in a sense, I do prefer the older version because it feels a little bit more authentic in a way that this is that classic C. Now, the bridge is also a big point of contention. A lot of people didn't like the old style pointy bridge, which is a lot more pronounced on this frame. I love that detail because living in the world of eyewear as I do, it's really cool to see that because it's so unique. You know, I don't know any other collection that has that kind of feature. On the newer version, the bridge has been a bit more of a hit with clients because it's a lot smoother and a lot more conventional. Now, incidentally, it's also a little bit thicker as well, but because it isn't angular and it's a little bit more rounded and softer, it does kind of blend in a little bit more, I think. But which one do you prefer? I'm really curious to know what you think between the older design and the newer design. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Now, you'll have noticed as I tried both these pairs on that the shapes of the lenses are totally different. I think it's so important. The first thing you need to consider when buying these is changing the shape of the lenses. And make sure you speak to a Cartier dealer that is passionate about the product and knows their stuff because, trust me, it makes a big difference. From my experience and clients telling me the experience that they've had trying to purchase Cartier from certain places, they just don't get it. Not all opticians get Cartier and what makes it so special and unique. And obviously it's a lot easier for us as an optician to just sell this off the shelf as it is than make it bespoke for you. But for me, that's where the excitement lies. It's amazing to see how transformed this frame is. These are the same glasses, identical glasses, but with that shape and that tint that's added to this, to me, it really transforms them. Now, I'm not saying you have to go as mad as this tint. This is a sunset violet, gradient 75 to 25%, with a sapphire blue coating on the lens. So you'll notice that they have that slight blue reflection off them, which I really think is a beautiful finishing touch. This is a real statement pair of glasses. I think the sweet spot for most people lies somewhere in between this and this, or in between this and this. And there are all sorts of tints that you can apply, from just a 25% tint, which is relatively pale, all the way up to a full sunglass tint, as you see here. Regardless of the tint that you're applying, I would definitely 100% change the shape. You know, I feel like this is a very old-fashioned, older, boring shape. And I think Cartier are aware of that because they do try to create glasses that are timeless. And, you know, I love that about them. But the frame itself can still be timeless with a slightly more unique or more bespoke or more creative shape. To be fair, in the newer model, they did update the sizing, and I think this looks a lot better off the shelf. You know, I can kind of understand someone buying this as it is. I would still change it. I would still go a little bit larger, maybe make it more rounded. But when it comes to these models, my rule of thumb is to not go too crazy with the shape. You'll see that whilst these shapes here are definitely bigger and bolder because of it, they're not too unconventional. And I certainly would avoid shapes that are kind of crazy, because the thing is with these glasses, the feature is the design here, the C of the House of Cartier. That's what it's all about. With, for example, the Panther frames, we've had a lot of success fitting this shape that I wear in my Reckivic Eyes glasses. A lot of clients have absolutely loved this shape, and it is more kind of out there and different with the more angular nature at the edges. It's a more interesting shape. But I would be hesitant to combine this shape with the C de Cartier frames, because it could get just that a little bit too much. A very easy classic shape is going to do the job, and it's still going to give that statement look that you're looking for with a pair of Cartier glasses. So speaking of which, this is a more conventional shape. The one we saw earlier with the violet tint is one that we designed ourselves. This is a stock Cartier lens, but I think it works with this frame, especially in the platinum. Now, another point that I want to move on to, and this is a real kind of controversial subject in the world of Cartier glasses, and that is to do with the logo being printed on the lens. So here's the score, and I'm going to try and settle this debate once and for all, because so many people think that if they get a lens for the Cartier glasses and it doesn't say Cartier in the corner, that it's somehow not authentic. If you buy an off-the-shelf set of Cartier glasses with an off-the-shelf lens, it is going to have that Cartier logo, because that is a creation by Cartier. As soon as you start customizing your glasses, that is no longer a Cartier creation, that is your creation. Now, we work with Zeiss, who actually manufacture the lenses for Cartier in most of their sunglasses. And if you order a pair of bespoke Cartier glasses from us, the chances are 99% it's going to be a Zeiss lens as well. It would only not be if you had a really unusual tint request that they couldn't fulfill. But they will not print the Cartier logo on a bespoke lens, because, you know, it's actually infringing on the Cartier trademark. So, and collectors know this, people who are really aficionados about Cartier know this. If you make a pair of Cartier glasses bespoke, it should not have that logo. If you do get a pair of Cartier glasses bespoke and it does have that logo, in a way that's unauthentic. It's not how it should be. Cartier don't approve of that. Zeiss don't approve of that. An authorized dealer would not approve of that. I guess for some people, it's all about having that name and showing off to people. But I feel like Cartier eyewear isn't about that. You'll notice there are no big logos on Cartier frames. They're not about showing that branding. And yes, they do have it on the lens, I guess, but I don't think you lose anything by not having that logo. In fact, for me, genuinely, if I could remove it off any Cartier frame, I really would. Because in a way, it almost breaks up the symmetry of the whole thing. I'm not about brands and I'm not about logos. I appreciate Cartier for their quality, which is exceptional, but I wouldn't want Cartier written on my lens. In fact, for me, as someone who's into lenses, I'd much rather have the Zeiss logo in the corner, because that represents optical quality. Cartier aren't a lens manufacturer, so why would it matter if their logo is on the lens? I hope I've settled that debate once and for all, because we get people all the time, people who I guess are a little bit naive about the world of Cartier, expecting that they can order a pair of bespoke lenses and it's going to come with the Cartier logo. That is not how it should be. Again, a controversial subject, so leave your thoughts in the comments below. Are you someone who always wants that Cartier logo? Or can you live without it? Or do you prefer it without it, like I do? I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts. I think that just about wraps it up for C de Cartier customization. These Picadilly rimless frames, as they're known, are truly exceptional, truly iconic, genuinely one of the most kind of eye-catching designs literally ever created, and Cartier brought it out, I think, over 40, 50 years ago now, which is testament to the timelessness of the collection. If you've got any questions about Cartier in general or these particular frames, please let me know in the comment section. If you found this video helpful, give us a like and subscribe to the channel for more amazing eyewear content, particularly on the subject of Cartier, a brand that I love. and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks guys, bye bye.